Hello everyone, I'm Priyanka Bish from DPS Lamachor. Today in this session, we'll be discussing the 7th chapter of business studies, which is directing. So directing is the 4th function of management. The rest of the 3 functions we have discussed in the previous chapter, which were planning, organizing and staffing. So in planning, the management basically sets the objective of the organization. In organizing, the organizational structure is divided into different departments, and in staffing, the right person is placed at right place. Now the actual work begins in directing. So directing basically means it is a function of management which is concerned with instructing, guiding, inspiring and motivating the employees in the organization so that their efforts result in achievement of organizational goal. So after staffing function, where the right person is placed at a right position in the organization, these person gets instruction directly from their superiors. So directing does not only means giving instruction, but it also involves supervising the employees while performing their job. They also motivates the employees so that they can work more efficiently, and they also leads towards the achievement of organizational goal. Now here are some features or characteristics of directing function. First function is directing initiates action. So as we know, directing is the function of management where the actual work begins. So here the work is started when the manager gives instructions and orders to their subordinates to get the work done. Next function is continuing function. So directing is a continuous function. The manager here cannot rest by just giving orders and instruction to their subordinates. The manager has to continuously guide, supervise and motivate their subordinates to work more better or efficiently. The third function of directing is directing takes place at every level, which means directing is pervasive. It takes place wherever there is superior and subordinate relation exist. So the managers working at every level must guide, motivate, instruct and communicate with their subordinate to get the work done. Next is directing flows from top to bottom as directions are given by managers to their subordinates. So it flows from top to bottom. Next is performance oriented. So directing function is totally based on performance oriented. The main motive of directing function is to bring efficiency in performance. Now performance here means the performance of the employees towards the achievement of organizational goal. Now the last function is human element. So human element basically involves the study and molding of human behavior. It motivates the employee to work with their best ability. Now here are some importance of directing function. First importance is to initiate action. So as we know, the actual work begins in the directing function where the superiors gives instruction or orders to the subordinate to get the work done. So the work begins in the directing function. Next is to integrate employees' efforts. See, as we know, in an organization, there are a number of employees working at different levels. So these employees are somehow interrelated to each other because they are considered as a part of organization and they are working towards the same organizational goal. So when the individuals are working at different level, their efforts are integrated and they coordinate with the help of directing function. Third is means of motivation. So as we know, directing function not only includes giving instruction to the employees, but through giving instruction and direction to the employees, they also motivate their subordinates to get the work done with their best ability. Next importance is bringing stability and balance in the organization. Generally, the employees working at different levels, they develop the different attitudes and the balance between their attitude is made by directing function. And the last importance is to facilitate change. Generally, the employees hesitate in accepting the changes. So by directing function, these changes can be implemented in a more easy way. Now we will discuss some principles of directing. So the first principle is maximum individual contribution. Now according to this principle, directing techniques must help every individual in the organization to contribute to his maximum potential for achievement of organizational objectives. It should bring out untapped energy of employees for the efficiency of organization. For example, a good motivation plan with suitable monetary or non-monetary reward can motivate the employees to contribute their maximum efforts in the organization, as he or she may feel that their efforts will bring them rewards. Next principle is harmony of objective. So according to this principle, very often we find that individuals' objective of employees and the organizational objectives as understood are conflicting to each other. For example, an employee may expect attractive salary and monetary benefits to fulfill his personal needs, whereas an organization may expect the employees to improve the productivity so that it can meet its expected profit. So here, harmony of objective is necessary because there is a conflict between the organizational objective and employee's objective. Third principle is unity of command. So according to this principle, it insists that a person in the organization should receive instruction from one superior only, because if anyone is receiving the instruction from more than one superiors, then there may be conflict and confusion. So unity of command is necessary in the directing function. Next principle is appropriateness of direction techniques. So according to this principle, appropriate motivational and leadership techniques should be used while directing the people based on subordinate needs, capabilities, attitudes, and other situational variables. For example, for some people, money can act as a powerful motivator, whereas for some people, promotion may act as an effective motivator. Next is managerial communication. So effective managerial communication across all the levels in the organization makes the direction effective. So in directing function, there should be a clear instruction so that there can be a better understanding to the subordinates. Next principle is use of informal organization. So a manager should realize that informal groups of organizations exist within every formal organization, and he should make use of such organization for effective direction. Next principle is leadership. While directing the subordinates, the manager should exercise good leadership, as it can influence the subordinates positively without causing any dissatisfaction among them. The last principle is follow through. So by giving of an order is not sufficient, the manager should follow it up by reviewing continuously whether the orders are being implemented accordingly or any problems are being encountered. Now the next topic is elements of directing. There are 4 elements of directing. First is supervision. Second is motivation. Third is communication. And fourth is leadership. We'll be discussing about these elements in the next session. That's all for today. Thank you.